Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, abateraniye hano n'abadukurikiye hirya no hino, uyu ni umwanya dutegereje kwakira ubutumwa mwatugeneye kuri uyu munsi. Umwanya ni uwanyu.
Mwaramutse neza mwese. Ngira ngo mpere ku ngingo yo kuvuga ubuhamya Minisitiri Bizimana yatugejejeho. Hari ubundi buhamya burebure burimo amateka akomeye Theoneste namaze kutugezaho. Ibyo twumvise byose bifite aho bishingiye. Ni ukuri abafite uko babihakana cyangwa babihakanya, ngira ngo bafite akazi gakomeye kugira ngo uhindure amateka nk'ayo y'abantu, abantu nk'abandi, uyagire uko ushaka, yaba mu gihugu hano, byaba hanze, cyane cyane bakunze guhindura aya mateka yacu ku mpamvu zitandukanye. Ibi rero ngira ngo bafite ibyo bazahangana nabyo kugira ngo abantu bahindure amateka nk'aya bayavuga ukundi. Ariko icyo navuga nk'ibyo Theoneste yavuze, ibihe byo birahinduka, ibihe byarahindutse. Nta uzongera gupfa nk'uko Theoneste yabivugaga, n'abapfuye cyangwa nawe uko yapfuye. Buriya yarapfuye, kuba ariho ni nko kuzuka, ariko nta wakongera gupfa kuriya. Impamvu kandi mu zindi nyinshi, ntabwo wakwica umuntu kabiri. Ubigerageje azakwica mbere yo kumwica. Ubwo turi aha mutureba, bamwe bajya bashinyagura bavugira hanze. Igihugu cyose, igihugu cy'u Rwanda ureba, ntabwo gishobora gupfa kabiri. Mbere y'uko wakwica u Rwanda ruzakwica. Ntabwo wakwica abantu kabiri. Ibibaho tureba aha, ntabwo twapfa kabiri. Ari twe bakuru, hari abana bacu ntawe uzabica kabiri, ntibishoboka, ntabwo byakunda. Tuzabaho nk'uko abantu bakwiriye kuba babaho, nk'uko abandi abo ari bo bose babaho, byanze bikunze, ntawe twabisaba kubaho. Uko mbivuze uku, hari ababyumva ukundi cyangwa hari abazabisubiramo ukundi, ariko uko mbivuze ni uko nguko aba ariko mu gutwara. Ndabasaba rero ngo nkomeze ijambo ryanjye mu rurimi abashyitsi bamwe hano bumva, batagombye kubasemurira, cyangwa se benshi cyane bari hanze bafitanye isano n'amateka yacu, harimo n'abo bayahindura bakayagira uko bashaka. Ndagira ngo mvuge mu rurimi bashobora kumva ntawe basemuriye. Muranyihanganira. Today, we gather again in remembrance to everyone present and watching online. Thank you for joining us on this important day. We deeply appreciate the friends who join us every year in person or in spirit without fail. I thank this survivor who has just spoken. These testimonies keep memory alive for all of us and for those who will follow us. Kwibuka carries profound meaning for our nation. It is how we confront and overcome the divisions that nearly destroyed us. This day empowers us all. We draw on the strength of survivors who provide the reservoir of humanity that feeds our nation's soul. To all survivors, know that you are not alone. We stand with you always. Everything we have achieved was only possible because all Rwandans decided to join hands in a common purpose. We honor the role played by every Rwandan in our country's rebirth. The reality of the genocide is clear for all to see. The ringleaders were convicted in international courts with rigorous evidence. The Gacaca process documented the course of the genocide in every single village and neighborhood in Rwanda. Over 50 million handwritten pages were produced during the 10 years of Gacaca. Right here, where we are standing, 250,000 victims of the genocide are laid to rest. And in 2018, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution that called the genocide against the Tutsi by its proper name, with the support of every member state but one. The truth is undeniable, and yet we still find people sowing doubt and twisting the facts up to today. This is not just a matter of ignorance, but something much deeper. It means that the risk of seeing history repeat itself is a constant danger if we allow ourselves and our friends to become indifferent. Genocide denial begins long before the genocide itself is committed. There is a pattern of looking away from the warning signs or taking them lightly. Hate speech turns into hate acts, dismissed as expressions of popular discontent. Behavior that should be immediately condemned is rationalized and minimized. The preparations are masked by narratives of popular grievance and fear. In the process, a moral equivalence is created between the targets of the genocide and the planners of it. All of these elements were present in our own story. There are some who pretend that the genocide against the Tutsi was a spontaneous event. That's not true. It was carefully prepared and carried out in plain sight. Regrettably, some who spoke the truth at the time and who were even eyewitnesses later became peddlers of distortion, mainly for political reasons. Militias were openly trained and indoctrinated in hate. Weapons were imported in large quantities, and Rwandans who opposed it were threatened or killed. Before 1994, communities were subjected to waves of smaller massacres meant to normalize the killing and also to measure the reaction of the wider world. And with only a few heroic exceptions, the world was unconcerned until it was too late. In the early 1960s, after countless Tutsis were killed or forced into exile, international voices such as Bertrand Russell, to name just one, described it as systematic extermination. The pattern continued in the 1980s and early 1990s. When Tutsi communities such as the Bagogwe in the northwest were targeted in organized attacks, in 1993, a commission led by Jean Crabonnier investigated these atrocities. After documenting mass graves and the involvement of state authorities, they concluded that a genocide was being prepared. In the same year, the UN Special Rapporteur, Bakri Weli Ndiaye, warned that organized propaganda portraying the Tutsis as enemies was spreading openly, helping prepare the population for mass violence. In January 1994, the Command of the United Nations Mission in Rwanda sent a fax back to headquarters in New York with detailed intelligence that in Interahamwe were stockpiling weapons and compiling lists of Tutsis to be killed. He was then ordered to share the information with the very government which was preparing the genocide and to take no further action. And sadly, the reaction today is no different here in our region. And you can see it right before our eyes. When the genocide began,